Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video we're talking about SNES, Nintendo Switch, Windows on Android, and more. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about something arguably pretty exciting if you've got an Android device. It's a brand new app called Winlator. The description says Winlator is an Android application that lets you run Windows applications with Wine and Box86, Box64. So Winlator 1.0 just released. It's the first release of this app. It's 100% free. It's open source. It's available on GitHub, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. According to their GitHub, the installation process seems to be simple and straightforward. Download and install the APK, download the OBB file and put it in a specific directory, and then launch the app and wait for the installation process to finish. On top of that, the developer does have a YouTube channel, and I'll drop a link to that in the description below as well. They've got 4 different videos up: Oblivion on Android Winulator, Mass Effect 2, Deus Ex Human Revolution, and Fallout 3. RPY Gamer tried out Tomb Raider 2013 Game of the Year with Winulator, and they were able to achieve between 13 to 26 frames per second on their Snapdragon 860. And Ice Yeti here decided to get SNES 9X for Windows up and running inside of Winulator. Ridiculous but impressive at the same time. I mean, this is the first release for this app, and look what's happening. This one kind of came out of nowhere, and I've got a hunch it's going to be pretty popular. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Moving on, and we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Ryujinx, and Ryujinx just got a brand new update. Version 1.1.972, which is the latest version at the time of filming, allows Jurassic World Evolution to go in-game. Next up, we're really quickly talking about multi-system emulator DSP, where DSP does not stand for Dark Side Fill in this case. Anyways, DSP just got a brand new update, and if you like arcade games, well, there's a whole bunch of updates here. Galaga, including Dig Dug, Galaxian, Gapless, Gunsmoke, Mappy, and Pac-Land. Next up, we're talking about the SNES, and Infidelity here has completed their port of DuckTales from the NES to the SNES. If you are curious about this one, SureUGL has a video up on YouTube showcasing the gameplay, with some very helpful links in the video description. I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Next up, we're quickly talking about Rhythm Game, Cool Toon for the Sega Dreamcast. You may be familiar with this game, you may not be. Anyways, it just got a brand new English translation patch. It's available on GitHub, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. The instructions are right on GitHub, and they seem simple and straightforward. And this is the very first release of this patch. If there are bugs, they'll be right up on their GitHub. Next up, we're talking about a brand new Double Dragon game that just released on Steam. It's called Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons. Right now, it's on for 10% off and selling for 30 bucks Canadian. And in my opinion here, I'm loving the pixel art graphics style, and I'm going to try this one out. It looks great. The game appears to be pretty favorably reviewed right now, and there are roguelike elements in it which may add some interest. On top of that, Slope's Game Room showed off some very interesting images. Golden Axe, Avengers, Mighty Final Fight, and Ghostbusters, all in the exact same style. I'm not certain if these games are going to come to fruition, but I really hope they do. And speaking about Steam, next up we're talking about the Steam Deck, and Ubisoft just published some patch notes for For Honor 2.45.1. In the patch notes it says Easy Anti-Cheat, updated Easy Anti-Cheat client module and library. This update of Easy Anti-Cheat makes the game playable on Steam Deck, so if you wanted to play For Honor on the Steam Deck, you now can. Next up, I'm going to drop a link to this YouTube video in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out if you're interested in the SNES. Xeno Crisis is heading to the Super Nintendo, and you can actually buy it. It's being offered by Bitmap Euro, and there are 2 different versions, the standard edition at £55 and the collector's edition at £80. Both versions of the game include the cartridge, box, instruction manual, and tray insert. Although the collector's edition is a little bit different here. You get the black cartridge and a little bit different artwork. You also can have your name appear in-game assigned to a hostage. There's a cassette, there's 4 postcards, 2 posters, and some stickers. Next up, we're talking about some Linux Mobile here with Ubuntu Touch OTA-2, which just released. This one improves the System Settings app. It lets you uninstall custom wallpapers. It lets you use a physical button for the camera and a whole bunch more, and there's been a whole bunch of bug fixes. I'll drop a link to the release in the description below in the event that you are interested. And speaking about Linux, ZorinOS 16.3 was just released, and it includes a brand new updater. So when Zorin 16.4 is released, it's a very easy and straightforward update. Now, even though I just called it the updater, the official name for it is the ZorinOS Upgrader. I'll drop a link to the changelog in the description below in the event that you wanted to check it out. Next up, we're quickly talking about Mozilla Thunderbird, and this was spotted over on OMG Linux, and I do recommend checking it out. If you use Thunderbird and you're looking for an arguably better theme, there is a GNOME theme for this application. The theme is free, it's open source, and let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. And speaking about spotting things, this one was spotted over on Xfire, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. It appears there's going to be a remake of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which is very interesting. This is not to be mistaken with Skyblivion, which is Oblivion being remade with the Skyrim engine, and I'll drop a link to this YouTube video in the description below in the event that you are interested in it. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.